Tony got a radio.
Learning, wellness,
Sharing.
motivational words.
There's a bigger dream waiting for you, just waiting for you to step into it. Your life is big. Your life is huge. And we spend so much time wanting to be in somebody else's life. And you don't get honored, you don't get revered, you don't get celebrating wanting what somebody else has, because that which created you, divine intelligence that dreamed you from before your ancestors ever knew they would become your ancestors, that which dreamed the seed of you, wants you to know how special, how wondrous, how mysterious, how complex, how glorious, how phenomenal you are. And you get no credit messing in somebody else's territory or trying to have power over something you have no control. Another one of my favorite teachings is The Wizard of Oz. When the Wicked Witch of the West says, go away from here because you don't have any power here, you have no power in any territory other than your own. Oh, but you are the master of that. You get to be the master of your own fate. You get to be the captain of your own soul. And if you just manage that, if you just took care of your territory, oh, the glorious, 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 wondrous, wondrous opportunities and possibilities that are waiting for you. So the question is, what are you resisting? What are you pushing against? What are you not allowing? What are you blocking because you have this idea of who and what you're supposed to be, instead of leaning into the dream that's already been created and waiting for you. It's waiting for you. And the second, it's an instant thing. It's a shift in the way you see yourself and the power from which you have come.
And so you know what, if you're doing the right thing, if it feels like it's right to you. And when you hit the thing that feels right, when you know it's the right thing, you know it's right because it gives you your juice, and you know it's right because you would do it for nothing. You would do it for nothing and find a way to be able just to do it in order to be able to continue. That's how you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
So how do I define success? Let me tell you, money's pretty nice. I'm not gonna stand up here and tell you that it's not about money, because money is very nice. I like money. It's good for buying things. But having a lot of money does not automatically make you a successful person. What you want is money and meaning. You want your work to be meaningful, because meaning is what brings the real richness to your life. What you really want is to be surrounded by people you trust and treasure, and by people who cherish you. That's when you're really rich.
The biggest transformation for me was living my life with intention. You know, what I know, I live by this law that's the third law of motion physics, which you put out is coming back. Yeah. But before you even put it out, you have an intention. And so to have a clarity of intention about what you actually want to do and why you want to do it is the most important thing. And then to just set that vision and have every step you make move you in the direction of that vision. It doesn't mean that every day it's going to happen. Some days you're off track. Like, I intended to work out 45 minutes. I only got in 37 this morning.
Well, that's better than zero.
It's better than zero. And that's what I said. Okay, at least you got some movement in. And it's daily renewal. It's not one big gigantic goal. It's every day coming back, giving yourself the opportunity to get it right. Because that's what every sunrise means. It's, oh gosh, it's another chance to get it right.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, for everybody here,
having a spiritual life actually means actively and ritually creating the space in your life all the time for gratitude, for kindness, for empathy, for inspiration, for joy, and for reverence for life in the home of your soul first. And then working to spread that inner joy outward. It means slowing down. It means taking in the moment. It means being exactly where you are, not distracted somewhere else. It means knowing who you are and getting about the business of fulfilling why you really came to our planet. I'm especially proud of myself for not living in the world of comparisons. You know, years ago when I pulled out that wagon of fat, I was actually comparing myself to everybody else, or what I thought you're supposed to look like, or what size you're supposed to be. So I'm now reached the point where I'm really okay exactly where I am. And that's, you know, it's taken me a lifetime practically to figure that out.
And
being okay exactly where you are.
Because comparing is a dangerous
It's so
thing.
hard because we are in the world of insta comparison, you know? And so the real spiritual practice is to like live from within and not let the world define who you are, but you do that for yourself. That's the hardest work.
Life whispers to you all the time. Your life is speaking to you all around, from the time you wake up in the morning and every single experience that's coming into your personal space, into your physical space. All of those experiences are speaking to you. They're telling you something about your life and about your circumstances. It whispers, and if you don't get the whisper gets louder. If you don't get the whisper, when it gets louder, it gets, I call it like a little pebble, like a little thump upside your head. When I was a kid, if I was doing something my grandmother didn't like, she'd just turn around and thump me. She wouldn't even look at me. She'd just give me a thump, and I'd know that's my cue to stop it, or we're gonna get worse. The whisper is the message. The pebble or the thump upside the head, usually it's gone into a problem. You don't pay attention to the problem becomes a brick upside your head. The brick upside your head is a crisis. You don't pay attention to the brick upside your head. The crisis turns into a disaster, and the whole house brick wall comes falling down.
I figured this out early on in the show. I had read this quote from Dr. King, one of my favorite quotes from him, that says, "Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service." And I literally I used that quote to help me shift the way I saw the platform of television. Instead of like, oh, I'm on TV, how do I use that platform as a platform of service?
Amen.
Is what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, we know, and you did that pretty well too.